Okay, in this video I'd just like to show you my new 6.7 camera. I've been working on this actual camera design for about the last 2 years. Originally it started off as a traditional 6x6 and then I developed it further into this camera now, which is a lot more complex, much more flexible than that. Probably first things first, I should say that the 6.7 is massively influenced by the Hasselblad SWC. It shares the same form factor, although it is 10mm taller than SWC, to be able to get multiple formats, including 6x7. It also has, rather than the single window, which I'll show you in a moment, there's actually 3 windows in there for different frame spacing on different formats. So what I'd just like to do on this video is to give you an overview of what your 6.7 will come with in terms of components, parts. It looks like there's a lot, but it's really not that complicated. And just give you a little overview in loading film, winding on, rewinding film, and changing lenses. So yeah, here we go. First thing I want to do is go over the basic components that make up the 6.7 camera and all of these accessories that come with it, to allow you to shoot in various film formats, as well as different film types. So the 6.7 allows you to use both 120 medium format film and 35mm raw film. So for start off, this is the main camera. So the 6.7 itself is very compact. It is massively influenced by the amazing Hasselblad SWC. I was very fortunate to borrow one about 10 years ago from a friend. Loved using it, loved the form factor. The biggest limitation from my point of view with the SWC today is obviously availability. It is a camera that is a number of decades old since it was last produced, and also the cost. So as a result, like lots of my other cameras, I've wanted to design my own sort of reference version of that, but with a little bit of a chroma twist. So it offers larger film format, multiple formats, interchangeable lenses, as well as different film types. So the 6.7 is something I've actually been working on sort of on and off for about the last 2 years. I originally built it as a 6x6 camera, sort of very SWC inspired. I used my own for about 6 months. Really liked using it. The format of it, the size is really good. It's very easy to carry. But I wanted to make a 6x7 camera for quite a long time. It's a format that not many small makers like myself manufacture. Arguably, it's a more complex format to frame space and design. So this is where the 6.7 came in. So the main camera has got, if you like, 3 main components. So you've got a lens cone at the front, you've got a main body in the middle, and then you've got a film back on the back. Now, all these parts are interchangeable. So when you order your own 6.7, you can choose the lens that you want the cone to come with. Unlike my other cameras, which I've built cones up to kind of 300mm lenses on the 617, realistically, I'd say for the 6.7, personally, I wouldn't want to use lenses larger than maybe a 105, purely because of the form factor of it. Every lens has to mount a certain distance from the film plane, which is known as just flange depth. The longer the lens, the longer the flange depth. So as a result, a compact camera like this isn't suited to sort of a 300mm large format lens. However, Mamiya press lenses are a slightly different offering. Mamiya press cameras were built as a rangefinder, so all of their lenses mount at the same position regardless of focal length due to their lens design. So this cone mounted on this 6.7 is a Mamiya press lens cone. So you have a locking bayonet. So when you mount your press lens, so for example, this is my 65mm press lens. This is one of the widest press lenses. You just push it in and turn the retaining latch. You've got a very compact, wide angle medium format camera, for example, in 65mm. You can also get a 50mm press lens, which is the widest offering. At the other end of the scale, Mamiya also made up to a 250mm lens. So you can actually mount a very long lens on this if you wanted to, using a very compact cone. So that's probably the route I'd suggest if you want to use really long lenses. But personally, I designed the 6.7 as a compact, more kind of wide angle medium format camera, or 35mm camera. So, but obviously, you know, that's your choice. On my website, there will be lenses listed as far as which options are available, so you can see there what they have. So let me just pop that lens off again just to get out the way. So as I say, on the front we've got a lens cone. So if you slide this latch on the front, you can then remove the lens cone. So you can change lenses mid-roll if you want, so you can carry multiple lenses with you. So the lens cones can be purchased separately as well, like my other cameras, so you can build a system as you go. Then you got the main body and the film back. To remove the film back, you got a little sliding sprung latch on the top. Just move that to the right and it lifts off. It's got little latches on the bottom and then 4 locking hooks on the top. I'll just move the film back to one side for now. So the main body, if you like, is a very compact body. It has standard 1/4" tripod mount in the bottom. Take all your standard tripod foot. On each side you've also got a carbon fibre neck strap mount, so you can mount traditional neck straps up to 15mm wide, or quick release straps, whatever you prefer. We've also got a bullseye spirit level on the top, so this will help you obviously get your shots level when looking down. And as a body, that's it. It's a very simple body. It's felt lined for the light trap, very secure locking latches, so it's not going to go anywhere. Obviously, when you tripod mount a 6.7, or if you tripod mount your 6.7, the lens itself is attached to that body, so the lens becomes tripod mounted, so the film back sort of hangs off the back of that to better balance your weight. Now if we go to the film back, this is probably taking the most time to design. As I say, it's a very traditional looking back. It's a very similar design to the SWC. So it uses a caddy design. So you have a removable film caddy inside a larger back. This caddy is magnetically secured inside, so there's no locks, latches, catches, anything like that. So walking around the outside, you've got a sprung steel cold shoe on the top to take any accessories, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Viewfinders, light meters, rangefinders, anything like that. On the right hand side, looking from the back, you've got your dark slide. So you can remove this film back mid-roll. If you take that out, there is a traditional felt light trap inside there, so it's completely light tight. There's no problem when it's on the camera. Obviously, if you want to remove the film back to use the ground glass, which I'll show in a bit, you put the dark slide back in and you can take the whole film back off. Also on this side, you've got a manual format reminder. So as I say, this standard film back can actually shoot 4 different film formats, film sizes if you like. You've got 6x7, which is the native size. You've got 6x6, which is obviously traditional square frame medium format. You've got 6x3, which is, well, it's almost a half frame medium format. So that's a panoramic, a landscape panoramic format with the camera held sort of that way, straight up. And then you've also got pan, which is 35mm X-pan format. So it's slightly larger. It's 24x68mm. And a traditional X-pan is 24x65, so it's slightly bigger. But what you can also do with the various frame inserts, which I'll show in a moment, is you can expose your image without sprocket holes, but you can also expose the sprocket holes. So depending on how you want to shoot, if you want to retain the sprocket holes for a creative choice, or just to get the most real estate out your film, you can expose those too. So on the back of the film back, you've got a reminder tab. So this tab is removable, it's felt backed. That is a film reminder tab as well, so you can take the card off your film box and drop it in there. One difference, which I'll talk about in a moment, is rather than having a single window in the back, which you'll see in a moment, there's actually 3 windows inside there, which allow you to shoot the different formats. This can be left in place if you want, so that can be done, or you can replace it with the tab from your film box to remind you what film's loaded. The only thing I'd say, if you're using 35mm film in this film back, I'd recommend leaving this one in, just because it's felt backed. It's a tight seal. You've got no risk of any light sort of hitting your 35mm film. Medium format's got backing paper on it, so there's no issue with light coming through there. Lastly, on the left hand side, we've got a couple of things. You've got another bullseye spirit level there. So like the one on the top of the film body, you can hold the camera in what will be landscape format. And you've got another level there. You've got a aluminium winding knob, which is the same spring style knob that I use on all my cameras. This is for winding your film on. You've also got a traditional 35mm rewind knob. So again, that's sprung for loading your film. So when you're finished on your 35mm, there's arrows there indicating which way to rotate, so you can rewind your 35mm film. And then the last thing on the side is this indicator wheel and mark point. So when you wind on your film, which I'll show in a moment, on either 6x7 format, or if you're using 35mm film, this wheel rotates as you wind your film on. So essentially, as you wind film, the wheel rotates. 2 rotations is 1 frame. So it's a very simple, very analog way of tracking your film spacing. It gives you exact spacing every time.